The mortifying mistake. The hotel hallway was dimly lit at 11:30 at night, and Cassie Morgan padded down the worn carpet in her fuzzy slippers, clutching a room keycard in one hand and her phone in the other. She wore her most comfortable pajamas, soft cotton pants with little stars on them, and an oversized t-shirt from a charity run she had done 3 years ago. Her honey blonde hair was pulled up in a messy bun, and she had already washed off her makeup for the night. Room 314, she thought, squinting at the brass numbers on the doors. Or was it 316? She had checked in so late, exhausted from the 6-hour drive, that the details were fuzzy. Her phone flashlight illuminated the numbers as she walked. 310, 312, 314. Cassie slid her keycard into the slot on room 314, and the light flashed green. See, she told herself, definitely the right room. She pushed open the door and walked inside, already reaching for the light switch. The room was dark except for a sliver of light coming from under the bathroom door. She could hear the shower running and froze in confusion. Did I leave the shower on? She thought, frowning. That didn't make sense. She hadn't used the shower yet. She had arrived so late that she had simply collapsed on the bed after setting her alarm. Cassie took a few steps further into the room, and that's when she noticed things were wrong. Very wrong. The suitcase near the bed was expensive leather, not her battered duffel bag. The suit jacket draped over the chair was tailored and masculine. The shoes by the door were men's dress shoes, size probably 11 or 12. Oh no, Cassie's stomach dropped. Oh no, oh no, oh no. This was not her room. She spun toward the door, intending to flee immediately, but that's when the bathroom door opened. Steam billowed out, and a man emerged with a towel wrapped around his waist and nothing else. Water droplets clung to his tanned skin, trailing down a chest that was clearly the result of dedicated gym time. His dark hair was wet and pushed back from a face that could have graced magazine covers, all strong jawline and high cheekbones. For a frozen moment, they both stared at each other in mutual shock. Then the man's gray eyes narrowed. His voice was deep and surprisingly calm, given the circumstances. I don't remember ordering room service, especially not the kind that lets itself in while I'm showering. Cassie's face flooded with heat. Oh God, I am so sorry. I thought this was my room. I have the wrong room. I'm living right now. You thought this was your room? He repeated, a hint of amusement creeping into his tone, despite the absurdity of the situation. In your pajamas? At nearly midnight? Yes, Cassie backed toward the door, her hands waving frantically. I know how this looks, but I promise I'm not some kind of creepy stalker. My key room opened this door and I just walked in without thinking. I'm so incredibly sorry. The man crossed his arms over his chest, which only served to highlight the muscles in his arms. A slow smile spread across his face. Your key opened this door? It did, Cassie insisted, holding up the keycard as if it were evidence in her defense. The light turned green and everything. He walked over to the door and examined the number. This is room 314. Yes, Cassie nodded emphatically. And your room is, he prompted. 314? Cassie said. Then her eyes widened as realization hit her. Oh, wait, no, it might be 316. Or possibly 341. Oh God, I can't remember. I was so tired when I checked in. The man laughed then, a rich sound that filled the hotel room. So you're telling me you accidentally invaded my privacy, saw me in nothing but a towel, all because you can't remember your own room number? When you say it like that, it sounds really bad. Cassie wanted to disappear into the floor. I am so, so sorry. Truly, I'll go figure out my actual room and never bother you again. Please don't call the front desk. I have a really important interview tomorrow, and I can't have this turn into a whole thing." "An interview?" He studied her with renewed interest. "What kind of interview?" "Executive assistant position at a tech company, which is why I really need to go. Again, I am so, so sorry. Incredibly sorry." She reached for the door handle, but he stopped her. "Wait, what's your name?" Cassie hesitated. "Cassie Morgan? Why?" "I'm Ethan Lawrence." He extended his hand, which seemed like a ridiculously formal gesture given that he was standing there in just a towel and she had just accidentally broken into his room. "And you can relax. I'm not going to report you. Honest mistakes happen." Cassie shook his hand quickly, trying very hard not to notice how warm and strong his grip was. "Thank you. You're very understanding about this whole mortifying situation. I have to admit, it's the most interesting thing that's happened to me in a hotel in years. Most nights are just room service and boring conference calls." "Well, I'm glad I could provide entertainment," Cassie said wryly, edging toward the door. "Though I'd prefer my moment of fame came from something less humiliating." "For what it's worth," Ethan said, and there was something different in his tone now, something softer. "You handled the situation with grace. A lot of people would have panicked or made excuses. You owned the mistake immediately." Cassie felt warmth spread through her chest that had nothing to do with embarrassment. "That's nice of you to say. But I really should go before this gets any weirder." "Good luck with your interview tomorrow," Ethan said. "I hope you get the job." "Thank you." Cassie flashed him a quick smile and slipped out the door. She stood in the hallway for a moment, her heart racing, then looked at her key card. The room number was printed right there on the little paper sleeve. 316. 2 doors down. "Idiot," she muttered to herself, walking quickly to the correct room. "You absolute idiot!" Once inside her actual room, Cassie flopped backward on the bed and stared at the ceiling. Of all the embarrassing moments in her 29 years of life, walking in on a gorgeous man in the shower because she couldn't remember her room number had to rank in the top 3. She grabbed her phone and called her best friend Sarah, who answered on the 3rd ring, sounding sleepy. "This better be good. It's almost midnight." "I just walked into the wrong hotel room and saw a man coming out of the shower in nothing but a towel," Cassie said without preamble. "What? Start from the beginning. Don't leave out any details." Cassie recounted the entire mortifying story while Sarah alternated between gasping and laughing. By the end, Cassie was laughing too, the absurdity of the situation finally hitting her. "Okay, but was he hot?" Sarah asked. "Because if you're going to accidentally invade someone's privacy, at least make it worth the embarrassment." "So hot," Cassie admitted. "Like unfairly attractive. Gray eyes, perfect body, that kind of jawline that should be illegal." "And you'll never see him again," Sarah said with obvious disappointment. "Such a waste." "Exactly," Cassie agreed. "Tomorrow I have my interview, then I drive home, and this becomes just a funny story I tell at parties. The businessman in the towel will remain a mystery." "Maybe it's fate," Sarah suggested. "Maybe the universe put him in your path for a reason." "The universe put him in my path because I can't read room numbers correctly after a long drive," Cassie corrected. "There's no fate involved, just my own exhaustion and stupidity." They talked for a few more minutes before Cassie said goodnight. She set 3 alarms for the morning, laid out her interview outfit, a navy blue suit that was professional without being stuffy, and tried to sleep. But every time she closed her eyes, she saw Ethan Lawrence standing there in that towel with amusement dancing in his gray eyes. At least she would never see him again, she told herself. Tomorrow she would nail this interview, get the job that would finally give her and her daughter, Maya, the stability they desperately needed, and this embarrassing hotel encounter would fade into memory. She had no way of knowing that fate had other plans entirely.
The unexpected connection. Cassie's first 3 months at Quantum Dynamics flew by in a whirlwind of learning and proving herself. She quickly became indispensable, managing Ethan's complex schedule, handling sensitive communications, and anticipating needs before he voiced them. Their working relationship was professional, efficient, and surprisingly comfortable despite their awkward beginning. But beneath the professionalism, something else simmered. Cassie noticed the way Ethan's gaze lingered on her sometimes when he thought she wasn't looking, the way his hand would brush hers when passing documents, contact lasting a fraction too long to be accidental, the way his voice softened when he said her name. She told herself it was her imagination, that successful CEOs didn't fall for their assistants, that she was projecting because she found him attractive and kind and nothing like the distant businessman she had expected him to be. Then came the evening. Everything shifted. Cassie's childcare had fallen through at the last minute. Her regular babysitter was sick, and Sarah was out of town. Cassie had a crucial presentation to prepare for Ethan's morning meeting, and she couldn't leave it unfinished. "I'm so sorry," she told Ethan at 6:30, when everyone else had left for the day. "I need to bring my daughter here while I finish this. It'll take maybe 2 hours. I promise she'll be quiet." "Bring her up," Ethan said without hesitation. "There's a conference room she can use. Does she like pizza?" "She's 5, Cassie smiled. "She considers pizza one of the major food groups." An hour later, Cassie was proofreading the presentation when she heard laughter coming from the conference room. She walked over and found Ethan sitting on the floor with Maya, building an elaborate tower out of office supplies. Her daughter was giggling as Ethan added another precariously balanced folder to the structure. "Mr. Lawrence," Cassie said, surprised, "you don't have to entertain her. I'm sure you have work." "I was just taking a break." Ethan looked up with a genuine smile. "Maya was telling me about her art class. Did you know she can draw unicorns now?" "With sparkles," Maya added importantly, "and wings, flying unicorns." "That's very advanced," Ethan said seriously. "I can barely draw stick figures." Cassie watched them together and felt something crack open in her chest. Maya's father had never shown interest in his daughter. He had left while Maya was still in diapers and never looked back. Watching this powerful businessman sit on the floor and genuinely engage with her child made Cassie's throat tight with emotion. Over the next few weeks, Ethan found excuses to interact with Maya when childcare fell through. He taught her basic coding using a kid-friendly app. They had debates about whether chocolate or vanilla was superior. He attended her kindergarten graduation when Cassie's mother couldn't make it from out of state. "You're good with her," Cassie said one evening as they worked late together. Maya had fallen asleep on the office couch, curled up with her favorite stuffed elephant. "She's easy to be good with," Ethan replied softly. "She's smart, funny, and she has her mother's kindness." Cassie felt her breath catch at the way he looked at her when he said it. "Ethan?" "I know this is inappropriate," he said quietly, standing and moving closer. "I'm your boss. There are power dynamics and complications, but Cassie, I can't stop thinking about you. Haven't been able to since that ridiculous night at the hotel." "Ethan, this could complicate everything," Cassie whispered, even as she swayed toward him. "My job, your company, it's not smart." "Probably not," he agreed, his hand coming up to cup her cheek. "But when has anything about us been conventional?" He kissed her then, gentle and questioning, giving her every opportunity to pull away. But Cassie pressed closer instead, her hands fisting in his shirt, months of suppressed attraction finally breaking free. The kiss deepened, became urgent and necessary and perfect. When they finally pulled apart, both breathing hard, Ethan rested his forehead against hers. "I'm falling for you, Cassie. For you and Maya both. Tell me I'm not alone in this." "You're not alone," Cassie whispered. "I'm falling too." Complications and choices. Their relationship remained secret at first. Stolen moments in empty conference rooms, late nights at Ethan's penthouse after Maya fell asleep, weekends where they pretended to be a normal family, visiting museums and parks and building pillow forts. But secrets rarely stay hidden in corporate environments. Whispers started circulating. Cassie noticed the looks from other assistants, the speculation and break-room conversations that stopped when she entered. Then Ethan's ex-wife appeared. Veronica Lawrence had divorced Ethan 3 years ago, claiming he was married to his work. Now she was back, beautiful and vindictive, determined to win him back or destroy him trying. "She's using you for money," Veronica told Ethan at a company event, loud enough for nearby board members to hear. "It's obvious. She's a single mother, desperate for security. You're her meal ticket." "That's not true," Ethan said coldly. But the damage was done. The board called an emergency meeting to discuss potential conflicts of interest. Cassie offered to resign immediately. "Absolutely not," Ethan said fiercely when she told him her decision. "I'm not losing you because some people can't accept that I fell in love with someone who works for me. Your career could be destroyed." "Then I'll build a new one." He pulled her close. "You and Maya are more important than any position." Love wins. Ethan restructured the company. He promoted Cassie to head a new community outreach division, eliminating the direct reporting relationship. He gave public interviews about finding love unexpectedly and refusing to apologize for it. When the board pushed back, he threatened to resign and take his revolutionary patents with him. The board backed down. 6 months later, Ethan proposed in Maya's kindergarten classroom with her daughter holding the ring box and giggling. Cassie said yes through happy tears. They married in a small ceremony with Maya as flower girl. Ethan adopted Maya officially, and she started calling him Dad immediately. When Cassie discovered she was pregnant for their second child, Ethan cried with joy. "Remember when I walked into your hotel room by mistake?" Cassie said one evening as they watched Maya play in their backyard. "When I was so embarrassed I wanted to disappear." "Best mistake either of us ever made." Ethan kissed her temple, his hand resting on her growing belly. "You literally walked into my life. How could I not fall in love with you?" Cassie leaned into his embrace, grateful for wrong room numbers and second chances and a love she never saw coming. Sometimes the most embarrassing moments lead to the most beautiful endings. Sometimes walking through the wrong door is exactly how you find your way home.